go into it now.
I mean, it's the same.
It's the same one. It's 21 Capital. You can just do things. This is from, how do you pronounce his name again? Den. April 24th, Econ Territory, 25 comments, 2,025 cents.
Yeah, he shares a lot of stuff from Matt Levine, but Matt Levine wrote an article on 21 Capital and his thoughts on it, and just how kind of sort of nonsensical it seems. But he says, it's right here in bold, it says U.S. public equity markets will pay about $2 for $1 worth of Bitcoin. So, that's what people are paying. That's like the premium that people are paying for something like.
Where do you see that at?
It's up at the top, at the first quote. Public equity markets will pay about $2 for $1 worth of Bitcoin. And then he does the math on what the value of the shares of this SPAC offering are. And he says you can sell Bitcoin for $93,000, but if you sell it as the stock that this Cantor Equity Partners, this 21 Capital company, you can sell that Bitcoin for $270,000. So like $3 for every $1 of Bitcoin that you own. And just how absurd, just on the face of it is.
That's immoral.
Well, that's the argument that's an argument that I think Jack Mallers and Michael Saylor would get into. And I see Michael Saylor squirm the most when he tries to answer this question. And it's
not an argument. Like, it's just objective truth. It's just truth. Like, they don't even have to defend it. It's just the truth. And so, like, that's just the truth. And so it doesn't matter, like, what they believe or not. It's just the truth. And this is where, like, you just have to own it. I don't need you to, like, stop doing it, but you have to own these things. Like, when you do things that are that you know are bad, and that we brought this up last week, but like when you drop bombs on countries and you say this is for freedom, or you do things that are bad you have to own these things. You can't just say, it's for this or it's for that. No, own it. It's okay. God forgives. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I thought this was interesting because he's at one point in here he also says that that U.S. equity buyers are more interested in Bitcoin wrapped as an equity than Bitcoiners are in the broader crypto market is in Bitcoin, because they're willing to pay more for that paper Bitcoin than people are willing to pay on an exchange for it to hold it themselves. And I found that kind of interesting and pretty damning of I don't know, the way this market works.
It's the type of thing that you see when Katrina was going on, when you had like George Bush, and then there was people that were selling like waters for like $8, $10, $20, and people were like dying on top of their roofs, and they were like trying to get like aid, and like George Bush was out there like, no, you got to pay like $20 for a bottle of water, and all these people were dying. It's kind of like that. And this is the equivalent of that, but like for Bitcoiners trying to like sell Bitcoin to the open markets, and they're like, no, dude, this is just like straight up business. It's like, no, man. It's like, sell it to, like, get it to the hands of the people at these meetups. Get it to the hands of the plebs that are, educating people out there in the space. Like, get it to the hands of the people that are actually doing the work. It's like, no, we're going to get it to the hands of the crypto bros and sell it to them at 5-10 times the cost. That's what that is. And it's okay. You can do that. This is America. It's a free country. Do whatever you want. But somebody has to call it out.
Well, I think a lot of Bitcoiners are calling it out. A lot of them are rah-rahing it too.
You got to own it. Just own it. You got to own it. Own it. That's it. Just
They're never gonna own it.
It's okay.
It's okay that they
God
don't
forgives. God forgives.
But they're never going to own it.
Doesn't matter.
they can't admit they wouldn't do this if they actually thought it was bad.
God forgives.
Well,
anyways,
yeah, I thought it was a pretty great article on the whole thing. It's nice because Matt Levine is like smart, understands this stuff, but views it with a skeptical eye, which is one of my favorite people to read when they're viewing Bitcoin stuff. And yeah.
Anyway, so we got to read the top comments. Top comments is, sometimes when I think we've hit peak clown world, I have to remind myself to actually check the historical records. I'm sure there are lots of examples of crazy stuff going on in the markets in the past too, or at least I'll tell myself that to try and feel better about the present. Lots indeed. Simple Stacker says, maybe they can be the topic of your book, in history of financial tomfoolery. And it's been done. Undisciplined says, they shouldn't be buying up tons of Bitcoin at 93K if they can't sell it at 270. Either that's not quite right, or they're very, very stupid. Dan says, I think they are. That's their financial engineering they're engaged in. No. It's weird too, because it's weird too, because if you remember in 23 when the ETF was coming out, and I haven't looked this up, so somebody fact check me, but I want to say the ETF wasn't going to go through in 23, but wasn't there like a lawsuit or something, and it forced the hand or something? So if anything, like the ETF should have gone through in 24. It should have gone through this year, because it likely would have punched through with Trump's presidency election. And then we would have saw the run-ups this year. So like it prematurely going through last year probably didn't help us. And I think what we're seeing now is just like there's no other way for Bitcoin's price to run up this year unless you do things like this. And this is where like you get hooked to that 4-year kind of like addiction of fiat run up. And the markets just aren't like it. The price is running up now, but once you get addicted to the price running up in dollar terms every 4 years, and you have these kind of other things attached to it, these other investment vehicles, whether they're VC or whether they're other types of stuff attached to it, you start having to make shit happen, for lack of a better word, and it makes things a little sticky, man.
I do wonder, sort of unrelated, but I do wonder how the ETFs view this type of thing. I wonder if they're like, oh crap. I mean, because there are like 9 Bitcoin ETFs or something, and I think like MicroStrategy and this entity are just going to eat their lunch, because they're basically reselling, or they're selling shares in a speculative attack, and the ETF is not that. And people are very attracted to the speculative attack, apparently. So I wonder if a lot of those we're gonna see a lot of those shut down, or how they're viewing it, because I know they spend a bunch of time, energy, money trying to get those things spun up, and now they're just getting bested by these things that are more fiat than them.
Well, you know how this space is. Like it's very like Game of Thrones, right? So like, you know. The whole MicroStrategy guys are probably not playing ball with the other guys, so they're kind of forced to have to make their own type of vehicle here or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I don't know. I think
because are the Tether guys playing ball with the MicroStrategy guys? I don't know if I've ever seen a deal between those two guys before.
I don't think they've had any reason to do a deal. I would guess they talk to each other. I mean, there are only so many people who's, you can only so many people the yacht you can pull up to in your yacht. So I imagine they're all, there's only so many 50,000 seats at a charity dinner.
Maybe you're right.
But I think I would guess.
So you're saying they're also in on this too, maybe?
In on this.
I mean, not in on this, but they're also.
I think this is, on some level, this is what Michael Saylor has been wanting other people to do, because he just wants the Bitcoin price to go up. I don't think, I would guess he's somewhat disappointed that he has a real competitor, and it's not like Apple or Google that's buying it. Instead, it's another speculative attack vehicle.
But that
he's
only
MicroStrategy.
So you're saying that he's not going to be able to buy Bitcoin at that low price anymore, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but he wants the Bitcoin price to go up. But the thing is, if I would guess this decreases MicroStrategy's premium, because people might like Jack Mahler's and Tether's and SoftBank's style of speculative attack more than Michael Saylor. They might enjoy they might enjoy Jack Mallers as kind of his presentation more and feel like it is a better it demands a higher multiple than MicroStrategy does with Michael Saylor, who's very smart, talking very smart about financials. But Jack Mallers is, like just got off a skateboard to do a CNBC interview.
You sound
it's like, hey, bros, buy Bitcoin.
Hey, you just got off of Waymo to do Stacker.News Live, Keyan. So
yeah,
think about that.
Unfortunately, I'm definitely not as cool. But I think that's what I would be looking at. That's the real they basically have MicroStrategy's playbook, but now they have Jack Mallers and Tether and SoftBank backing the whole thing. So from that, it's like more direct competition than the type of competition that I think Michael Saylor would have asked for, which is like, he just wants Bitcoin's price to go up by Apple and Google buying it. But now instead it's like someone is just copying you and probably going to do a better job.
Yeah, Stackers, if you're listening and you're watching this, remember these words. I'm telling you right now, this is all going to blow up. Like, just like 1 sat equals 1 sat. Stop thinking in dollars. Just run a node. Start hodling. This thing is going to crash next 3 to 5 years. Just hold as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. Get through this. Don't cheerlead. Get it into a multi-sig. Stay the fuck away from these people. And like learn to code. I'm telling you. Crap.
It is.
No, because I'm serious. Like, what's going to happen is once these people get screwed over on the
You're
the
not
stock.
even on the camera, dude.
He's not on the camera. Once these people don't stop doing that. Stop doing that. They're gonna think I'm trying to start a revolution here. Once these people start, I'll just finish on this. Once these people get screwed over on Wall Street and they're paying these multiples, guess who they're going to blame? They're not going to blame Jack Mallers. He's going to be on a yacht somewhere in the middle of the ocean. So's Michael Saylor. They're going to come for us. They're going to come for this guy. They're going to come for me. They're going to come for all the Bitcoiners. They're going to blame us. So you just need to be prepared because they're going to 61-2 our ass. And so we just need to be prepared for when they do come for us, blaming Bitcoiners that we screwed them over. And I'm going to be like, no, I didn't. I didn't tell you to go buy this crappy stock or this crappy ETF or this crappy bond. I told you to buy none of that. Go make your sats and just think in this sat world, because in the future, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. But in the future, you need to start thinking in sats, and you can earn them on Stacker.News.
I wonder how many people are going to do this same thing. I mean, Tether and SoftBank are only going to back so many people, but I imagine.
Oh, we're at the end game now, baby. This is the end game.
You think this is it? This is the last one to do it?
Yeah, we're at 3-5 years away, tops. Because this is like Trump's presidency right now is the last of this kind of like free for all. 100%. There is no way that this is the end game. Get it. Like everybody's running to get as much fiat as they can. This is the end game.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're trying to get. I would guess the Tether guys and Maulers and
everybody's hoarding dollars right now, but they should be hoarding Bitcoin right now.
I don't think they're hoarding dollars though. They're trying to.
Well, the people with dollars are hoarding dollars right now. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't really know about that. I'm just wondering if we'll see more speculative attack IPOs and public companies like this before. Like how many of those can the market sustain before it just implodes? Like how many adjustable rate mortgages did the economy have when it blew up in 2008? That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. This seems similar to me, where it's just like debt on debt on debt, and at some point someone's going to have to pay it, or they don't.
Well, they're just going to pull the pin. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
who's going to pull the pin?
Somebody's going to pull the pin, and
who can grab a pin?
I don't know, man. Like to me, this all feels very like the guy said. This all feels very engineered. This doesn't feel like I don't know. There's just few, like, this kind of reminds me of like COVID and how everybody was doing golden parachutes. A lot of people either were passing away or people were retiring or people were stepping down. It just kind of feels like that. And it also, we also coming up on the first quarter of the century. Like it feels like we're getting ready for the new quarter, and a lot of plans are being laid out. And just from what for me personally, like I'm seeing that even in my own like parish, like we're like people are now thinking, because I personally, like I used to think in like decades or like, and now I'm thinking in quarter centuries now, if that makes any sense. And I used to not think like that.
Okay.
And I just recently started thinking like that. And I don't know where that came from, but I think it's because I'm hanging out with older people now. So I think that what I'm trying to say is I think these people in power think like that too as well. And I think that's what's going on. And I think that's what's happening is I think we're entering a new regime here. This is kind of like the deep state talk. I think
I see. Okay.
I think we're entering a new regime here, and I think this is where we're headed.